We had to made our girls sign a social media contract. There's no duck lips. I'm never going to see your butt crease. You're never going to do sexy stuff.
On the idea of the school stuff that you guys are talking about, how do you guys, or how would you guys tackle the social media aspect of things for kids on their phones and tech? Because you want to integrate technology. It's not like you can keep that away from your children.
Mm-hmm.
You can't integrate it? Okay, like, what do you
Okay, you
mean by
can't.
that?
I mean, as in, you can't fight it. It's here.
Yeah.
You know, your kids are learning on Zoom. So you have to now, I think we saw this phenomenon, and you can back me up on this, and you guys too. It used to be that we were told play all the sports. So we just played everything. Like, we valued the best athlete was the kid who could do everything, right? That kid was always good, always picked first for the kickball team. But then all of a sudden we realized it would have been nice to have some formal movement training, a little dance, a little Olympic lifting, some sprint. Like, we could have used a little bit more. And what we saw now is that the opposite is true. We're seeing these hyper specialized kids, and we're having to do all of this formal movement training instead of, and durability training. So we went from needing just a little bit to sort of needing a lot of education on how to move the basics, right? Because kids don't do it. So if you have a kid come into your class, I work and teach in high schools and elementary schools, and asking kids to squat down it's grim, right? So something has changed for sure. So the idea here is around the social media piece, we are going to have to recognize that we have to change the environment because this is here to stay. We have strict rules on when our phones go away at night. Kids, they're just gone. Kids can't be on them anymore. We have, even for our 16-year-old, we have a time limit on social media. So we assign it. And if she needs more, she has to come ask and for something. And remember, kids are communicating with their teams on Snapchat. That's not going away. This is where practice is. This is where the game is. So you can't be a Luddite and go out of this, but you're going to just have to have limits. And every once in a while, there was a time where Georgia figured out that she could fake plug her phone in the kitchen, and then she'd take it, and I figured that out. And then her phone went into this cookie jar that has a locking lid, and it's time to main, and she'd be like, no! And she could see her, and you can't, the only way to open the thing up, you take the batteries out, it just stops. You have to wait until the lock goes off or break it open. And she's like, I can't charge my phone. I'm like, sorry, kid. You ruined it. So we have really strong feelings. Caroline is 8th grader. She does not have Instagram. She does not have Snapchat because she's in the 8th grade. Yeah. So you just have to, as an adult, remember, you're the adult here, and you can say no, or hey, this amount is how much time our family is okay with, a half hour or an hour, and then not. And that's the only way. And then we had to made our girls sign a social media contract. There's no duck lips. I'm never going to see your butt crease. You're never going to do sexy stuff, right? The second you're doing that, you lose the social media.
Good for you. And that's part of it, parenting responsibility. I mean,
it's hard to do. It's hard
for our kids. I think that's huge.
How did you manage when they ask, like, well, you're on your phone? Like, how did you respond to that kind of stuff?
Well, that's a fair criticism, right? Is that I do make times where I leave my phone behind. I'll leave it. It's not there because it is easy. And I look right now I'm a coach and I can't travel and do as much as I want normally working with all the teams. So I get a lot of data and I watch a lot of the teams that I'm working with remotely, and I watch a lot of the coaches I respect and admire coaching. And then simultaneously, I'm like, oh, the algorithm is so good. It's so soothing. And so I have to set it knows me. Cat videos, raccoon videos. I'm right on like Indian street food videos are hot on my phone. So I am aware. And if Juliet or anyone says, hey, you're on your phone, you have to like put it down. We don't have it at the table. And I just have to put it down. And I like leave my phone in the kitchen at night. It's gone. So, setting those things aware. One time, Brian McKenzie and I made our phones black and white for a while. That was terrible. I hated it. So I went back to color because it's more interesting. But I think, putting my Instagram on the second page, a lot of friends have deleted it and have to reinstall it to work. But unfortunately, you have to play social media in this realm because it's how we generate the leads in the funnels. But I think you have to be hyper aware. But I would suggest everyone to take the Kelly Starrett social media challenge, go to Instagram, open it up, and the explore button, the magnifying glass, click on the explore button and see what social media thinks you are as a person.
Wow.
And it will show you what the algorithm thinks you are. And I did this with our friend Matt Vincent. Matt's like, wow, I'm into hunky dudes and jacked women. Hunky dudes, jacked women. Hunky dudes, hunky dudes, hunky dudes. He's like, whoa, all the hunky dudes and jacked girls. Like it's just page after page. So it really does see what you're spending your time on. And it is easy to lose your mind and get sucked in, whether you like it or not. Around everyone has abs. Everyone has a perfect life, and everyone has a perfect bench. And so look at that and see what it says about you. I think that's really an interesting sort of self-exploration experiment.
Pat Roger family, how's it going? We talk about sleep all the time on this podcast. That's why we partnered with 8 Sleep mattresses. Now, this mattress is the Tesla of sleep. It's the Tesla of beds. Its technology tracks your heart rate variability. It changes its own temperature based off the way you sleep so that you get better sleep every single night. It is quite literally insane. Check them out. Andrew, how do they get it?
Yes, and before I do that, I wanted to let you guys know that you can actually set the bed to wake you up silently. I know that sounds weird, but actually the bed starts vibrating around your head, and it doesn't wake up the entire household the way my phone used to do back in the day. So now I just kind of have the bed wake me up silently, and it's amazing. You guys got to head over to 8sleep.com/power project. That's EIGHT sleep.com/power project. When you guys go there, you'll see a banner across the top saying that you're going to receive $150 off automatically. So again, that's 8sleep.com/power project to receive $150 off your Pod Pro cover or your Pod Pro cover and mattress combo. Links to them down in the description as well as the podcast show notes. Let's get back to the podcast.
Yeah. And I think he said it, though, how he leaves his phone. So
That's the only way.
My wife and I, we turn our phones off and go out on a date or whatever it is. And it's funny, here I am, my business is social media, and we're out having dinner and noticing so many couples both on their phones. So you can totally do it for your business and actually still live differently. And I think it feels great to have the phone off. And then I mentioned the sleep thing. So once it gets time for, even near the time for bed, phone, like turn it off.
You get an alarm from
not
Walgreens.
even like, oh, I put it away or something. No, like I turn my phone off every night.
Look at it like heroin. I'm serious. Your brain is looking for the hit. And if you say to your kid, there's heroin next to the table, but I don't want you to go for the heroin tonight. So just leave the heroin there. No one's going to leave it. No one's going to leave it. You can't do it. If I bring a stack of cookies next to my bed, I will wake up at 2 a.m. and be like, cookies. So I just have to leave it there. So I leave my phone other places. Even just when we started this, you were like, oh, you can get your phone. I was like, nope, my phone is over there because I don't want to be anywhere near it because
mine's off in the gym right now.
It will drive my behavior. So I'm not naive to say that I love junk food. It's amazing, but I just don't buy it. My dirty secret, I love Diet Coke. I'm not going to ever
Why is that
undeny
a dirty secret?
because everyone's like, Diet Coke's so bad. It's so
No, it's not.
But it's the habits you're setting up. And then it becomes easy to have your phone off in a way. And at first it's like, my wife and I, we'd be, oh, Google, see if there's another, you know what I mean? Like it's almost like part of your thought process.
for sure.
It's like, oh shit, we didn't bring our phones, So it becomes normal. But yeah, we acknowledge that we're human. We want junk food. We want to go.
If I want a Diet Coke, I have to go buy it, is what I'm saying. I don't have a 6-pack in the house because I'm like,
that's the
Diet
trick.
Cokes.
Just don't have it in the house.
Right.
And then you're still creating a habit that even if you go have it, you're not going to have as much as if it was in the house.
You know what I tell my girls? If you don't want to be caught doing cocaine off a stripper in Vegas,
Oh, God.
don't
You
go
tell
to
the 13-year-old this?
Yeah.
Or,
Oh, for sure. My kids are all in.
Okay.
Don't go to Vegas. Don't buy cocaine. Don't hang out with strippers.
That's fair.
I'm like, and you won't end up doing the bad thing, And they're like, that's really wise, Dad.
I want to know this actually, since we kind of came away from like the specific physical stuff. But one thing that I kind of discovered from Supple Leopard back in like 2012 or 13 or whatever was the couch stretch. And I saw that the couch stretch is also a staple part of your programming in terms of movements because you have very specific movements you place, but the couch stretch is part of that. How did you end up coming across it? Did you discover it from Kelly?
It's called the couch stretch because I've named it the couch stretch.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, people don't know that.
I didn't know that either.
The sink, couch stretch, the bully, those are all, I named all those.
Okay.
Phenomenal.
The couch because you needed to be able to open up your hips on the couch.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I was healing my body, got myself onto a junior college team, but I wasn't gonna be able to do my training there. So I found a local CrossFit gym, and so I was, because that was the only gym I could find that had a sled and stuff like that. I was very much in the CrossFit world, even though I was a basketball player. So I was watching all of Kelly's stuff, and I was even teaching people the couch stretch in that CrossFit
Heck yeah,
gym.
that's what we were counting on.
I've always, since day one, anything I found that I would help, you find me. I mean, you came in this morning. Mark was working on this regression, which we don't have video, but it's freaking phenomenal, and a video will come out on it, so we can't pull it up. But, and I mean, I don't want to put him on the spot, but over 300 pounds, you know, he's working on losing weight, you know, this guy, and Mark comes in, you know, told me be here at 9 or whatever. What was I doing at 9? I had him squatting all the way down. So we had a regression, got him, you know, doing his warm-up stuff, and then got him into like full range of motion squats. And I mean, when do you think that the last time is that he did full range of motion squats?
Oh, it must be a long time, yeah.
Right?
I mean, more recently, he's been working on some of the stuff because he went to your seminar. So
That's
he's
so cool.
been doing some of it, but for him to get down that low, it's just too much pressure.
Yeah. And so we got him into full range of motion squats. So my point is only that from the moment I, you know, many, many years ago with couch stretch, and I use it not so much as a mandatory thing, but for beginners starting out, it almost seems like everyone needs that just based on modern society and stuff.
Yeah, and people don't understand that it's actually an end range isometric load. So it's the same position you're in your kind of classic split lunge shape, except it's short lever. The leg is bent. And that is literally, I'm like, look, people can't see the fundamentals underneath there. And then we do isometrics there, you know, and then you can elevate the front leg. And I'm like, this is an end range isometric in a short lever position.
Yeah, that's how I think about the couch stretch, is it can help people then, you know, get into stuff. And I don't do it anymore, but I do that full range of motion split squat every week of my life. It's my personal favorite movement. So
it's the number one position I spend the most time in, is a long lever splits extension position.
That's amazing. And we talk about so many of the benefits of that, and so did Kelly. And so different routes, same routes. I'd say Kelly and I have similar routes. I'd say, you know, he's innovated all kinds of stuff that anyone on my program should know how to do. Yeah. And I think it's one of the reasons I've kind of refrained from teaching flossing, just because I'm more aware that like I had not gotten to the source yet. So now that happened today.
Floss on, baby.
Exactly. But I have, you've followed my stuff for a while, and I've had plenty of videos about flossing, but not so much trying to teach it from an authoritarian perspective. And so it's kind of funny how stuff works out. And so once Mark told me that, you know, Kelly was going to be here, and I had talked to him on the phone, I'm like, that was the first thing that jumped in my mind, was just like, thank goodness I finally get to go to the source.
Hey, little mama, let me whisper in your ear. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel, because we continue to bring you peak content on this channel. Obviously, you guys are here. You guys have watched the whole video. So like, comment, subscribe. All right. See you later.